Hi class, so last week we looked at some basic orthographic sketches with the blocks from the IQ test or the IQ toy. This week we're going to look at the Tractoy component parts. The red arrow indicates which side the elevation, that's the front view, we are drawing from. So in this case the chimney, the front here, chimney pipe will be the circle that would be the front face. For the axle it would be this edge here, and so on as we work our way through the sheet. I'm going to give you the chimney part 1 as the exemplar so that you get an idea of how we lay it out. We're also going to include some hidden detail as well so that you again are trying to show this relevant information. First thing I want to do is I want to draw the circle at the front. So I'm going to start with a little X. That X helps me make sure I'm almost center, and I'm gently feeding my paper round as I go, trying to ensure I get an accurate circle. You can, if you wish, you can use a set of compasses if it helps. However, if you don't, let's just try to sketch a circle. Now, if your circle ends up looking like a potato, there's a little trick that we'll introduce in graphic communication. Graphic communication is about communicating your idea to people. So to tell them that which I have produced is a circle, I am going to put a center line in here. So dash, short dash, long dash, short dash, short dash, long 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 dash. That will tell anybody, if it ends up looking like a potato or an oval or anything else, that this is in fact a circle. Now, it has this hole in the center here, so I'm going to detail that as well, because you would see that from the front if you were looking at that front on. So again, rotating my paper around, trying to keep the distance across all the way around equally as possible, and as proportionate as possible as well. Again, if you're struggling, use a set of compasses. Okay, so that's my elevation. I'm going to label it elevation. That's what it looks like from the front, but what does it look like from the side? If I was looking at it, turn it up the right way, it helps you guys. If I was looking at it from the side, I would see this face here. I would see the side here. And I wouldn't see any curves. I would only see a rectangle. So how would I depict that? I'm going to use my straight edge. It's a bit wonky, but it does the job. And I'm going to project lightly some lines across. Just like that. So I've projected some lines across. I don't know how well you can see that, but I can there we go. Trying to find my work here under the camera. There you go. You can see those lines that have been projected across. They're very light. I don't want them to be too heavy. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw out the shape that I would see. I'm using my straight edge just to help keep things nice and straight. You can freehand this if you wish. It just looks a bit neater though if you use a straight edge. So that would be the side. This is what I would see. And we're going to call this the end elevation. Now, as it is a curve, it's a cylinder, we need to put across here some center lines. Dash, dot, short dash, long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash, long dash. That way, that tells somebody looking at that image that this is in fact a cylinder. It's circular. Without it, you wouldn't know that that's a cylinder. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to project it upwards. Again, so that we've got a plan. So if I was looking at this from above, straight down on top of it, what would it look like? It would look like the same. So I'm going to project some lines up. 1, 2. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to project a 45 degree, the bounce line up. We talked about the bounce line last week. The bounce line helps transfer all your dimensions across and keeps things accurate. So what it will mean is it keeps this distance here and brings it up here. So it's making things the same. Now, this triangular ruler, it's called a set square. This is a 45 degree set square. In graphic communication, we use these on drawing boards. We can use this if it helps us to get that 45 degree bounce line. If not, you eyeball it, get something that's roughly 45 degrees. So 1, that's my bounce line up. Okay, so let's just make that a bit easier for you guys to see. That's it in position. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my straight edge again and lightly I'm projecting some lines up. Lightly. I'm not doing it heavily. These are just working lines. The 45 degree bounce line, some of you didn't choose to put it in your task last week. The 45 degree bounce line is important as it tells us you've got an understanding of orthographic projection. This is the projection line. Without it, it is not an orthographic sketch. We take it from the uppermost right corner of the elevation. So, project from the bounce line, bring it up, then across. Bring it up, then across. Remember, this isn't a sketch. This isn't an accurate drawing. It should, depict a sketch, if you like. So, I'm going to project this up. Make it nice and dark. This is what we would see if we were looking at it from above. The plan, if you like. And again, how do we tell that's a cylinder? Well, small dash, long dash, small dash, long dash, small dash, long dash, small dash, long dash, small dash, and so on. That tells anybody looking at that it's a cylinder. Now, the next thing that you want to start thinking about, this hole here, this is a chimney. This connects the chimney pipe, which is next to it. So that hole there has to have some depth. It's not shown there. So you have to make an educated guess. It wouldn't make sense for it to be all the way through, because then the chimney would just slide down. Equally, it wouldn't make sense if it was just in by a tiny little bit. I would be saying we probably want to put it half in. That way the chimney is secure on the chimney pipe. But it's an educated guess. You make that judgment for yourself, because we haven't given you accurate sizes for this. It's all about the sketch. So I want to tell somebody that this goes halfway through. So I'm going to put in what's called hidden detail. I want to project this line across to here, ever so lightly, nice and light. And I'm going to project it in, nice and light. Now, a hidden detail line is a series of small dashes. But halfway, series of small dashes. There we go. So that tells anybody looking at this that that's a hole. And it goes about halfway through. Now, again, I'm going to project this line, the hidden detail line, I'm going to project the depth of it up onto my bounce line. lightly, and then I'm going to project it across. I'm going to project it across to the plan, and on that plan I'm going to project the circle up so we know where it lies. There we go. Again, go over that dotted line, dot 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 dot. Now, one thing I am missing, which I didn't add in, plan. What is this I've sketched? What have I sketched? Well, I have sketched part 1 chimney. So, Mr. Harrison, today's date, today's the 21st of May 2020. It says ortho sketching, and this part is called part 1. Part 1. Now, there are some other details in here. We're not going to get into that quite at this stage. We want to ensure that we have the concept of orthographic sketching underway before we start looking at title blocks in full detail, symbols, etc. The important thing is we address this. You can fit more than one onto a sheet of paper. You could probably fit 3 or 4 onto a standard A4 sheet of paper. I'm just using this small square piece of paper to help demonstrate the process and the point of it itself. So there it is there. Let's move that up. Okay, just so that we've got an idea of what it looks like. There we go, I took a little photograph of that as well. And that will be added onto the assignment. Now, if you click below on the link, the video tutorial link, if you click below when you come out of it, there are 2 videos that have been uploaded to YouTube by an American gentleman. He teaches graphic communication. I would encourage you to watch them all fully. Maybe try along with some of his sketches as well. That choice is yours. But it will help give you a full, clear and concise understanding of orthographic sketching. Next month, we're not doing as much orthographic sketching. We're going to look at some different viewpoints. This is the final opportunity before the summer holidays to get orthographic sketching done. We will be recording grades and advising accordingly as well where you need to improve come the next term. If you have any questions at all, you can either reach out to me, Mr. Harrison, you can reach out to Miss Cartner if she is your class teacher, Mr. Llewellyn if he is your assigned teacher, or Mr. Leddingham as the head of faculty should there be any queries about it at all. Otherwise, guys, stay safe and enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you.